All right, it's almost 11:30. We'll start in 2 minutes. All right, please ready. We'll start in 2 minutes. Okay, it's 11:30, right? We'll wait for some more latecomers. We'll start in 1 minute. All right, so let us do this, right? Now, it's a quick revision on the quadratic graph in terms of a parabola. All right, parabola. 中文叫拋物線啦，掟上去跌返落嚟。All right, we have the quadratic graph in the format of y is ax squared and bx and c. Now, each of these a, b, c contributes to a certain aspect, to a certain characteristics of the parabola. So we start with a. All right. Now for a is simple because a is never negative. Because a is never zero. If a is zero, then it is not a parabola at all. All right, it becomes a straight line. So a, we assume it is not zero. So it's now down to two possibilities. Either a is a positive number or a is a negative number. Right? If a is a positive number, the graph is opening upwards. All right. If a is a negative number, then it opens downwards. We have the understanding that a is not zero. All right. If a is zero, it becomes a straight line. Straight line if a is zero. All right. So it's about opening up and opening down. If a is greater than zero, it opens up. All right. If a is less than zero, it opens down. All right. Some people says that a likes to be positive. So if it is positive, it is happy. If it is negative, it is unhappy. All right, you can remember it in this way, right? It's stupid, but it works sometimes. All right. So that's about a. All right, this coefficient a. It tells you whether the parabola is opening up or opening down. And then secondly, the next one easier will be c. All right, c is the y-intercept. Is the y-intercept, all right? So if c is a positive number, it intercepts at the positive y-axis, right? These are for those c that are positive number, right? These are, let me switch to another color, right? These are positive c. This is c greater than zero, all right? We have this, all right? On the other hand, if the y-intercept is a negative number, right, then we have negative c. These will be the graphs with negative c. All right, c is less than zero. Let me switch to a better yellow. All right. When c is less than zero, we have graphs like this. And then c can be zero. It is possible we have a zero c. When c equals to zero, we have graphs like this that cuts the origin. All right, for those graphs, we have c equals to zero. All right, so these are the y-intercepts. All right, if c is greater than zero, we have the y-intercept on the positive y-axis. If c is less than zero, we have those y-intercept at the negative y-axis, right? When c is zero, then we have the intercepts at the origin. So this is about c, right? A is the easiest to tell, and then c. All right. Now we talk about B later. B is the most complicated, right? Let's move to D. Now what is D? There's no D here. D is a calculated value. It's the discriminant delta equals to B squared minus 4AC. All right. So delta is the number of roots. If delta is greater than 0, we have the parabola passing through the x-axis at 2 points, right? These are examples with d greater than 0. All right. If d equals to 0, then the parabola touches the x-axis, right? Like this, sorry, like this, or like this, right? These are cases with 0 discriminant. And finally, when you have a negative discriminant, we have the parabola, disjoint, all right, with the x-axis. It does not touch the x-axis at all. These are for negative discriminant, all right? So d is a calculated value, it's b squared minus 4ac. Positive, 0, negative, we have different behavior, all right? So A is the easiest, right? Followed by C, followed by D. Now, finally, let's move to the final point here. B is the most complicated. All right, B is the most complicated. But I discovered a simple way to look at B. All right. Now, B can be positive. B can be 0. B can be negative, right? The sign of B, the polarity, plus or minus of B, controls how does the parabola pass through the y-axis. All right. If B is a positive number, it is going up as it goes through from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. When B is 0, it goes horizontally. When B is less than 0, it goes down. All right, simple enough. So what is the meaning of going up? Say, for example, this is going up. All right, if the parabola is like this, then it is going up. All right, when it moves from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. So this corresponds to positive B, all right? This is a positive B. So is this one, right? These are positive B, all right? It is going up, and this is moving from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, all right? So when B is a negative number, it is like this, right? The graph is coming down like this, or like this, right? These are negative B, all right? You see the parabola is going down when it crosses the y-axis boundary. When B is 0, it is flat, all right? It is not going up nor going down, so it is something like this, all right? Or something like this. It is horizontal. It is like an MTR symbol. You can look at it like an MTR symbol, all right? This is where you have 0B, if it is an MTR symbol, all right? It passes through the y-axis horizontally in a flat way. All right. So this is the easiest way to tell B. All right. When B is a positive number, it is going up when you move from left to right. All right. If it is a negative number, it is going down. All right. So these are in one page. I try to summarize how do you read these numbers A, B, C, and D. All right, from a quadratic curve, from the parabola. All right, I guess you learned something about this, right? But perhaps you haven't learned about this B. Perhaps you haven't learned about this B. All right, this is you know, I know that it is not very common for people to teach you about how to look at B like this. All right, I guess you know about A, C, and D already. All right. Anyways, so let's look at some examples on you know, how to put this A, B, C, D in action. All right, and then we'll play the game afterwards. Okay. Now, so here are 4 examples, right, on how to sketch this parabola. Now, of course, you have a computer, then you can do it, or a graphical calculator. You can do it with electronics, all right? But we want to roughly have an idea, what does it look like, all right, based on the characteristic of these coefficients, all right? So the first thing we need to do is to find a table ABCD and look at the sign of this ABCD, whether they are positive or negative. All right, before we sketch the parabola, all right, the important thing is to find out this A, B, C, D, whether they are positive or negative. Now let's start at the top left corner, right? How about A? A is number 2, is a positive number, isn't it? All right, A is a positive number, it is 2. All right. How about B? B will be -3, so it is a negative number for B. Okay. How about C? C is a +1. it is a positive number. And D will be B squared minus 4AC. 9 minus 4 times 2, so it is a positive number. All right, so this is how I find out the polarity of A, B, C, and D. Now we can find one parabola that fits all these A, B, C, and D. It opens up, right? It's coming down when it passes the y-axis. It cuts the y-axis at a positive point, all right? And it cuts the x-axis at 2 points, all right? So these are the meaning of this A, B, C, D plus and minus, all right? It's opening up, it is coming down when it crosses the y-axis. And the y-intercept is a positive number. And it cuts the x-axis at 2 points, all right? So the parabola must be something like this, all right? This single parabola will satisfy all 4 conditions, am I right? It's opening up, it is coming down, and it's as it crosses the y-axis, all right? The y-intercept is a positive number, and then there are 2 positive x-intercepts. There are 2 x-intercepts, all right? So this is it. Right? I hope it's simple enough that we can sketch the parabola from the characteristics of these coefficients. All right. So let's take a look at the top right corner. All right, let's take a look at another example. All right. Y is 6x minus x squared minus 9. All right. So the twist here is do not follow this idea. All right. We have to switch it into ax squared and bx and c, all right? We have to, that is absolutely necessary, right? You have to rearrange the terms so that it follows the scheme of ax squared and bx and c, all right? Do not use 6 is a, minus 1 is b, c is minus 9. That would be wrong, all right? Do not do this. We have to rearrange it so that it follows the ax squared and bx and c scheme. So now we have this A, B, C, D. This is negative. This is positive, negative. How about the discriminant? Discriminant is 0, or B squared minus 4AC. Am I right? Okay, now you can do it, right? Try to find a parabola that fits all this requirement. It's opening down, it's going up, all right? It cuts the y-axis at the negative point, and it is you know, touch 1 point with the x-axis, right? So can you draw one parabola that fits all 4 requirements? That parabola will be like this. Am I right? Am I right? Is try again. Okay. Let me try that again. All right, much better now, huh? Okay. Right? So this is the one parabola that fits all 4 requirements. Am I right? All right, so let's finish the others. Right now, bottom left corner. Now, once again, we do not like this format. Minus x minus 2x plus 3 is no good. All right, let's convert into ax squared and bx and c. So we have y equals, what's that? Minus x squared minus x plus 6. Am I right? Try to expand the bracket and multiply them to minus 1. All right, try to expand the bracket and multiply them to minus 1. So now we can fill up this A, B, C, D now. We have negative A, negative B, positive C, and how about the delta? B squared minus 4AC is a positive number. All right, we have this. Am I right? So it opens down. It is coming down when it crosses the y-axis. The y-intercept is a positive number. And there are 2 intercepts with the x-axis. Oops. There are 2 intercepts with the x-axis. So how do you draw a dark parabola that fits all 4 requirements? how do you draw a parabola that fits all the requirements? It will be something like this, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Am I right? 一次過滿足4個願望啊 Right. So finally, this one, right? Once again, we convert it into the ax squared and bx and c format, and it goes to x squared minus x, am I right? Minus 2, isn't it? Right? Try to expand the bracket to see whether your algebra is okay. Then we have a positive a, a negative b, a negative c, and how about the discriminant? B squared minus 4 is a positive number. All right? So one graph to fit all 4 requirements. So opening up, coming down, cut the negative and intersect at 2 points. So to do this, it must be something like this. Am I right? We cannot miss anyone. All right, we have to satisfy all 4 requirements. Okay, so this is it. I hope you get it, right? That is our vision on the parameters A, B, C, and D. How does it affect the sketch of the quadratic graph? Okay. Now, so we have an activity that that will see how well you can understand or how well you can communicate those ideas with someone else. All right. It is a paired activity. You will be paired with someone else. All right, in this activity. So let me switch to the computer screen.